let's not engage in, let's not go over there and cause wars.
Yeah.
Let's not go there, let's not go here. But realistically, you want your cake, you want to eat it. You want to be able to keep up wickedness all around the world, but still win here. Because it's not about, like you said, it's not about wrong and right. It's just we always want to come out on top. That's it.
Well, and
You understand what I'm saying?
and that's the value of it, bro. Because if you look at it, like I said, people can look at it like, okay, if you go to that country and do X, Y, Z, we might end up with a lot of people fleeing war-torn countries here. So let's not do it. But they're not thinking that, because what people want to do, it's a case of, for me to win, you've got to lose. So they want to win without the problems. The same thing when it comes to reparations, whatever. There's no point giving us reparations, because guess what? if we give them reparations, then that means everything was a waste of time. The whole point was for us to get ahead. So why are we going to
gain? The whole point was a gain.
The whole point was to gain. It's not to make it even. It's not to make it fair. Because if it, like, then what was the point? Do you know what I mean? They're not trying to.
But you got to think about it. They might, if we get reparation, what, 10 years time we might be on top if we get whatever it was given back to us. But
that's,
you understand what I'm saying to you?
Because even, like I said, with regard to reparations, obviously Dr. Umar had these marches over there in Brixton, and like I think you saw it already, that where there's a page, was it London Open TV?
Oh my God.
And some of the comments from the English people was terrible, bro.
Bro, that was wild, bro.
Yeah.
That was, but you know what that shows you, yeah, bro? And you know, a lot of people gotta kind of get this through to them, yeah. In regards to other cultures, other ethnicities, and I'm not talking about English in general, I'm talking about especially the far right extremists, yeah. When you're not agreeing with them, they don't like you, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Well, if you say, because like some of them, for instance, some of them pages that I see them comments on, when the boat marches was going on and all that, some of the influence was in that crowd, and they was like, "Oh yeah, you're one of us. You lot are welcome." This, that. But the minute you say a view that opposes them, you see the real side of them, bro. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, that's where it is, bro. Because they don't really care. Like, end of the day, they don't want you to. Because end of the day, anyone with common sense knows slavery was wrong. They know that that what they done to us, they held us down. Like, they know. But thing is, in their head, they don't care enough, because you know it helped their standard of life. Because let's be honest, this is what no one can't deny. Colonialism and the transatlantic slave trade made this country trillions of pounds. Like this, it took them. Not saying this weren't a productive country before that, but it took them to another level. Think about hundreds of years of free labor, bro. Remember, the transatlantic slave trade funded the Industrial Revolution, bro. Then that's how they were able to make use of all the other Commonwealth countries. That's how they was able to boost up their navy, how they were so strong. Do you understand what I mean? So without that, they wouldn't be in the position they was in. But how they look at it, they don't care, because they look at it like, raw, for us to win, you had to lose. Do you understand what I mean?
I feel like it was a collective of India, even down to like Hong Kong and China, like, because you remember they controlled them countries. Obviously, different parts of Africa and the transatlantic thing. You're right. It boosts up, and let's not forget the Middle East, you know, bro. But
but what you got to remember,
they took over. They had Iran as well in the chokehold for years as well, you know. So
that was in that time, but bruv, but what I'm saying is, the transatlantic slave trade was before that, and the money they made off of that was how they was able. Remember, that's how I was able to then go to India, and all the minerals and resources, because of the Industrial Revolution, they was able to make use of them. Bro, they was able to boost up their defense, bro. Like, so it took them, like, that set of the transatlantic slave trade set off, then the Industrial Revolution, wham, took them, separated them from everyone else. Do you understand?
Yeah, then what? Then what? So what? What that America was, because America was part of the transatlantic slavery.
Yeah.
But then it's the Middle East as well that boosts them up even more, because they controlled the petrol that are in it.
Yeah, but the transatlantic slave trade set it off, bro.
Yeah, 100% it set it off.
And then, remember, and then they was able to build their infrastructure, build their defense. So then, you know what? No one can't check. Their defense. It's because of their defense why no country could give them pushback. Do you understand what I mean? So they could go and bully up Middle East. They can go and bully all these other countries because I remember, like, it's set, bruv. People don't understand how long the slave trade was, bro. It was for centuries, hundreds and hundreds of years, bro. So that is of free labor. Do you get what I mean, bro? Do you understand what I mean? Like, it's
But
straight
tell me
profit.
something, yeah. Do you sometimes just think it's just like, as a people, we got to get around it in the sense of that's just the law of the land, in the sense of
It is.
kill or be killed, dog eat dog, the law of the jungle.
Of course it is.
We
But
know
you know
how
what?
they,
The only reason
we're
why
all
to me,
beings, but
no,
we're all
but you know,
beings. You understand what I'm saying to you?
this is why this is the only reason why to me it's a conversation, because it's not about, like, I don't agree with talking about it and being stuck in the past, and that's why we would know. Only why I think it's relevant when I don't want a English person to come and tell me I shouldn't be here, because guess what? This infrastructure was all built off of the back of my ancestors. So guess what? We got a right to be here to enjoy the fruits of our ancestors' labor. That's it. Same thing in America. So no one can't have the audacity to turn around to an African American and say you ain't got a right to be here when their ancestors built that country.
But
That's
do you
my
think that's
point.
why they don't really say that to us though? You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, but
And that's why
but some of them try to, and they allude to it.
they want to, but they can't. That's why they'll never say it openly on a
But they
major
do.
platform, because they know. Obviously, individuals can say whatever that go on, but they know. Don't, because you know what that man said to me that come from the Caribbean. He said when he was leaving the Caribbean, yeah, a man said to him, and this is the greatest respect to because we come from working class, we lived in council estates. It is what it is, isn't it? But he said, don't live amongst the poor English because they don't understand the way of the world and the history.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying to you?
But that's why middle class
Yeah,
person will never talk like how the working class talk. Because you understand?
exactly.
Because middle class people understand.
Unless they've got an ulterior motive, a power move. You understand what I'm saying
Yeah,
to you?
but unless they're trying to communicate and connect with the working class, but middle class people and upper class understand how the system worked and how Britain got to the position it's in. So they know. But what it is, my thing is this. It's only why I think it's relevant subject, because sometimes I feel like you have to remind these people when they get out of their pram and want to tell people English for the English. Nah, B,
Yeah.
you lot made too much money off of my ancestors to tell me English for the English. Nah, I'm here and I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you lot want us to go back, then that's when reparations have to be spoke about, because then you know what you need to
Exactly.
do? You need to put £1 billion into the Caribbean infrastructure and build homes. Then we'll go back. You get me? Like, and in
Yeah.
America, it's a bit different. In America, they need to be building up communities for the Africans, Americans, you know, because obviously you got, and even putting into the education systems. Because in America, you've got predominantly black neighborhoods. So guess what you need to do? You need to build up them neighborhoods. You need to put money into them, their education systems, and into the infrastructure in them areas, because that's and help us to progress. Do you understand what I mean?
But
It's
you know
not about.
why
I
they
don't
will?
think they'll ever put money in each of our pockets, and that's fine, because I think that will create a lot of problems. But what they need to do, if there's like, for example, if they do have predominantly black areas in England, put some money into the infrastructure into them communities. Do you understand what I mean? Or put some
Yeah.
money into the Caribbean. If you want us to go
Yeah.
home, then we'll go home. Don't ever think that this country was built off the back of what the infrastructure was funded off the back of our ancestors, and we're going to just leave you lot to enjoy it. I don't think so.
Yeah, and we want some of our resources. We want the resources. You know you can't, and that's why I think they would never do it, because they know how important a lot of the resources in these countries are, and like the continent of Africa and even the Middle East. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Well, exactly. Well, with regards to Africa, yeah, they don't want. Yeah, come on, Africa's a whole different ballgame. They don't want that. They got too much going on in Africa for them to even try and lose
Do
control.
you know it's funny. Even though I don't want to go off topic too much. Did you see what Killa Cam said, bro? Because you know, obviously, we're talking about a lot of even like
Yeah, but I
Dr.
get it.
Dr. Umar talk about Pan-Africanism, yeah,
Yeah,
and we know a lot of Black Americans just identify as American, you
yeah,
know, and you know, and obviously Cam, what did he say? I'm not African. He said something outlandish. I don't know.
Yeah, but I get it. Don't you understand? Because let me tell you why I get it. Because he's not accepting that he's from African descent. But remember, black people, the black Americans have been in America for over 300, 400 years, bro. How
Yeah, they never have that.
the only remember, how can a white American turn around and say we don't class you as American, we class you as an African American? You can't trace their roots to Africa. You can trace our
Well,
like
we
we don't
can.
say we're African. We trace our roots. I mean, you can trace, but not where specifically where they're from. We can trace
Yeah.
our roots to Jamaica.
You know what?
Understand
You're
me?
right, because like we look at ourselves. A lot of Black British will say we're Jamaican because the same time once boats got dropped from Jamaica and boats got dropped from America. So that's
Exactly.
what it is, isn't it? You understand what I'm
That's
saying to you?
exactly because I remember
You know,
our ancestors been in Jamaica the same amount of time their ancestors been in America. So what else
yeah,
you
yeah,
expect to say?
yeah,
They're
yeah,
undermining
yeah.
them by saying to them they can't be American, they have to be African American. Do you know how disrespectful that is? How can you
Yeah.
remember that? And remember, it's a European telling them that, because they're not Native Americans either. So just say where they send. They're not called European Americans. They're just called Americans. Do you get
I
what I mean?
suppose, yeah, so English have got more right to say we're English. White English have got more right to say they're white English than white Americans to say we're white Americans, isn't it?
I'll be honest with you, English people got more right because we ain't been there for more than a century. Do
No,
you
I mean,
understand me?
in the sense of their heritage to the land.
Yeah, but
You know what I'm saying?
but remember, but English people are
What of
from
Normandy
they're from Scandinavia, bro, and Denmark and
and
Dutch and all
Normandy.
them
Because
places.
didn't Normandy conquer it in 1660? It was a 1066.
Exactly. So people move around, but they've been here for what is it? Oh, I don't know, since the 7th century or something, like 6th, 7th century. So I get it, but they've got more like a European American telling a black American, you're not American, you're African American, is disrespectful. So I get what Cam's saying. He's not saying he's not from African descent. He's saying, listen, right now, we've been here 400 years deep. Like, you understand what I mean? I'm American. Don't tell me do you know what I mean? He's not denying his roots, but
I don't think he didn't even. I don't think he even accepted. Obviously, he knows deep down that 100 years ago they come from Africa, but he didn't want to know connection at all, did he? You understand what I'm saying to you? Which we get it because like it's such a long time away, and you got to think of our grandkids. The heritage is gone. It's gone too far back, hasn't it? You understand what I'm saying to you?
yeah.
It's a once upon a time story, isn't it?
But you still acknowledge and respect your ancestry. But I think it's
Yeah.
it's mind games because like it's all psychological because they're saying you're not. They're still trying to keep you detached from where you are. So they're still trying to have some kind of self like you're not as American as us. How dare you?
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
them. They've been there for centuries. That country's built off of the back of them. You can't tell us that we're not as American. That's disrespectful. Do you
And I
understand?
suppose we're kind of missing the trick as well, because especially for what Africa produces, you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
We kind of been tricked out of our position,
Yeah.
because a lot of us are over here suffering, and there's diamonds under the land in Africa. There's gold. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? There's oil.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying to you? You know,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what Dr. Omar was talking about, what Pan-Africanism. You know,
Mm.
what's your thoughts on that?
I get what he's saying. I think he's a bit extreme. I'll be honest with you. I think he's too. I think some of it. Remember, he's at the same time. You see, I think anyone. Like he's an influencer. I think every one of them you got to take with a pinch of salt. So
100%.
he says things for the shock value. Like black awareness is a must. Black unity is a must. Black progression is a must. Trying to put into the next generation and make sure they have a higher caliber is a must. But I think he tries to ostracize too much people. Like when he says you have to be with like a black woman or whatever, where there's people like you can't like human beings are human beings, innit? So you can't
100%.
tell a black woman just because she's with a white man, she's not. She can't be black and proud or a pan African understand and are all about black upliftment. And you can't tell a black man that's with a non-black woman that you ain't got that you're not a supporter of of black unity and black
Yeah, you
progression.
can't. Yeah,
You know
you
what I'm saying?
can't discredit a man because of his preference in women or the woman they ended up with. Because sometimes not that they actually went out to look for a woman from a different race. It just
Yeah,
happened. You
yeah,
understand what I'm saying? Who you bond with, who you link with is who it is. You understand what I'm saying? But
exactly.
when they discredit, because I know somebody's full of say things like, "Oh, you can't be a black activist or talk on black topics if you're not of a black woman." That's ridiculous because you're still black. You still you might even face more racial prejudice because you put yourself in more situations that you might take
Well, well,
be
well,
it racial criticism. You understand what I'm saying to you?
they're doing the same thing that everybody falls for, creating another form of division.
Yeah,
Do you understand me? Because the reality is, let's be honest, like as much as okay, because of the predicament us as people are in, we do want better for our people. So it is about highlighting issues in the black community and trying to point our people in the right direction. But in reality, we are all human beings, bro. And it is about trying to embrace people and live amongst each other. Because most places are
yeah.
multicultural. So it's about trying to
All
live
places are
amongst each other.
multicultural.
So it's about trying to live amongst each other and accept and treat each other with respect and whatever, John. But there's too much people that are going against that, and him that's what kind of ruins his what he's trying to do because
Yeah,
all he's known for is snow bunnies never. That's all he's known for. That's
yeah.
majority of
It's a bit
people
of
know him
it's
for.
a bit of a gimmick. It's a bit of
It's
a
a
gimmick, though, isn't
gimmick,
it?
bro, and he's falling into it. He likes it, so that means is it the attention because
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. And what you're doing, you're secluding a whole set of men and women. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
That could still offer, because what? Man still want to know their black history. Man still want to travel to Africa. They still want their mixed youths to maybe experience black countries. You understand what I'm saying to you?
And as well, let's be there's man who might have a non-black partner, but I've got black kids from previous partners, so it's still an issue for them because
Exactly.
they've got black children that are black like them, and who probably have black children as well. So it's still something that people feel passionately about.
Yeah, come on. Like I said, we got black kids and mixed race kids. You understand what I'm saying to you? So
Exactly.
it's a bit, it's a, yeah, I think he played that one wrong, because when you say that no one can't go on your movement, that's not with a black woman. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Get me?
You,
Like I
you
said,
know?
it's more division. Do you know what I mean? And that's the
Yeah,
thing. You like for us, we don't um we don't divide. We're not against anyone because you know what? You could be losing or stopping yourself from connecting with a good ally if you just stereotype people, if you're prejudiced against people. So I know that there's good and bad in every religion, every race.
listen,
Do you know what I
listen,
mean?
listen, listen, and let's be real. Let's be real, yeah. If there was countries with just black people, if England was just white people, they would still meet. It would be issues amongst the people of each land still.
And that's the
You understand
reality.
what I'm saying to you?
That's the
It's
reality.
only because when there's someone different, there's someone else to point out and blame. That's it. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Bro, that's how the society is built. That's how they keep people from being united. It's always if it's not left and right, if it's not black and white, if you remember if it's not black and white, then it's Jamaican, African. If it's not Jamaican, African is Jamaican, St. Lucian. Do you know what I mean? If it's not New York, LA, it's you
Yeah.
know what I
But
mean? So
look,
it's,
look,
it's
look.
always
E-
some
Even
division.
even in America, there's a big division between Pan Africanism and Pan Americanism, Black Pan Americanism. Like
Mm.
so. There's a big. They are always going at each other. You understand what I'm saying to you? People that won't acknowledge that they're from Africa,
Bro,
and people that do. So,
there's man that say that black people were never that there's people that don't believe that slave even like that was brought from Africa. There's Americans that believe that they was in America, black people was in America all the time.
I
And
saw something like
there's an argument to that. There's people that believe that black people in Jamaica all the time, and there's an argument to that. Do you know?
that.
There's
Yeah,
people that
people
believe,
that say black people was in England.
but yeah, but
Which we
then
don't know.
yeah, but
How
not
much
to,
history
but not
documented?
yeah, exactly. And but also there's people that believe that it wasn't actually even slavery. We was actually prisoners of war. There's so much different people that believe different
Yeah.
things.
Because you
But
know what, yeah. Because you know what's funny? It's funny you say that because when I was looking at that guy's comments, is it London Open TV?
yeah,
All the people that was in there, I'm not going to say they're far right, 'cause I don't know, but the people that was disrespecting making disrespectful comments about the reparation. All they were and slavery, they were saying, all they was doing pushing on Islam that started slavery first, is all the Arabs started slavery first, which is, you know what I'm saying? You're deflecting.
But let me tell you why it's deflecting, because this is what they don't understand. It's not a conversation for us, because guess what? We are not in Arabia. Our ancestors were not slaves of Arabians. Our ancestors were slaves of Europeans, bro. Our people was colonized by Europeans, and guess where we are? Europe. So why we? So it's irrelevant to us. I don't care what's going on in Arabia, in Ottoman Empire. That's not our reality. Our reality is that Europeans made trillions of pounds off of our ancestors, and we have a direct correlation to that. And we live in that society where the whole infrastructure was built off the back of free labor from our ancestors. So why are you telling me about Arab slaves or Arab slave owners? Why are you telling me about the Europeans were slaves, the Eastern European? That's irrelevant to me, because I'm not saying there were other slaves. That's not anything to do with us. We live in England, where they made millions, trillions off of the slave trade. All the slave owners were compensated.
Up until when did they finish paying them?
2015.
I think that's just wild. That blows my mind, bro. That literally blows my mind.
It's fine, but then when you want to, all my thing, I'm gonna bring up when you want to tell me England for the English. Then guess what? If that's what you want, throw $1 billion to the Caribbean, build up the infrastructure. You get me?
But more than that, though, Joe.
$1 billion. Let's start at $1 billion. You get me? Let's start, and then that's what you need to do, because that's what you're gonna have to do, and then we'll happily go home, and England can be for the English. But until then,
you can't just expect people just go on the shores of nothing, bro. That's madness.
They want to make trillions of pounds off us, but then we should. And remember, they made and colonialism of the empire after slave trade was abolished, the empire still made trillions from the resource in Jamaica, but the people suffered. You weren't putting it back into the Jamaican infrastructure. You was bringing it over here. You built up East India, Quay, and all the different places. So don't talk to me unless you're going to throw some money into the Caribbean. That's it.
Yeah, and I think that the also, which I find quite disrespectful, is the fact that when we were coming over after the war to help build back up the country, it was all fine in it. Obviously, there's still racism on the ground, but on a whole, it was okay. You understand what I'm saying to you? And now they feel like they're getting somewhere. Everyone can F off. You understand what I'm saying to you?
That's the way I love it. And you know what they want to pretend? This is how dumb some of them are. Yeah, they want to pretend that the Windrush generation wasn't invited. Like they weren't even. They was recruited. There was recruitment.
I saw something.
Went to the Caribbean. A lot of our people was coming over directly into employment. They had employment programs. So why they want to pretend like they weren't invited? You know what I mean? And even if we're, so what? Guess what? We're still here. You get me? So that's not. When people say it to me, I think, what's the point you're trying to prove? We're here. You get me? You lot made we was part of the British Empire. You lot made trillions off of us. So guess what? We got a right to be here. I don't want to hear nothing unless you're throwing money into the Caribbean infrastructure. Then we're here till we don't want to be here no more. That's it. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear that still. Yeah, I hear that still.
What you like for time?
Well, I'm all right, you know. What are you saying?
Okay, yeah, cool.
You know, one thing that I thought Dr. Umar would have been a bigger reception for him, though. I don't know if it was just low key or something.
Yeah, I didn't know. Maybe because he ain't really had no speaking engagements or nothing. So maybe it was a bit low key, just specifically because he just come for a march. He weren't really putting himself out. I don't know.
Unless there's other things yet to come out, he might have done a couple other appearances, a couple of shows, innit?
Do you see who else was there?
Yeah, I did. I didn't want to mention it, bro. I know you talk about I didn't want to mention that, bro. Yeah, I see her, bro.
Yeah.
She seems like she's trying to ting, though.
Yeah, she is. I think the Black Pan is all good. I think like to making sure the next generations of a higher quality, higher caliber and what is more important. But yeah, the Black Pants, it makes sense. Do you know what I mean? But it's I think it's just there's more. Yeah, it's a good it's a start in it.
Yeah, it's a start still. But like I say, you don't want to kind of, like you say, you don't want to start segregating them and causing division already, don't you? You know, because like I said, I think I think the issues is more than a color thing, man, and the religion thing. People got to work together, and that's what's always going to be. That's the
Yeah,
only. That's going to be one of the major resolutions, isn't it?
that
You know what I'm
that
saying?
that's the relevant is, bro. It's people need to see. I think people need to see past color and past things.
Yeah,
Like at the end of the day, we're all living amongst each other, so it's
exactly. Yeah, you know, we get over. I get over so much. You know, different color people, different races. That it's hard to kind of push that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
If that makes sense, you know.
I know what you're saying, still, and I think the problem is, yeah, because let's be honest, like I think because a lot of the natives have been falsely led to believe that they're superior, it's hard for them to get around that they're not superior. Not saying there's not elite people that are like natives, but obviously on the 90% of the natives are not superior. That's the reality of it,
Mm.
yeah. And I think it's difficult. It's difficult for them to get their head around that. But you would
Yeah,
hope
yeah, I can believe that
but
still.
then you'd hope that the next generation wouldn't have that same mentality. But because of all the far right still trying to, it's like they're gonna affect the next generation. But that's all it boils down to. 90%
Mm.
of the natives, or let's even more, because remember it's the 1%, 2% that control the system and who was doing all these things, who benefited from all the industrial revolution and this like it benefited the whole country, but it's the organ grinder, the masterminds was like the small percentage of the nation. So, but
Mm.
then it's the other people of the nation that are believing that that got that superiority that they
That
have.
ain't done nothing. That ain't done nothing to make them to prove superiority or nothing.
There's
Just spoke
people
it and just clinged on
cling
to the
on.
empire
Like
and to the flag. You know what I'm saying?
they have not done one superior thing in their life, but they're mentally they want to believe that they are, and that's the problem. Is that their
Yeah,
minds tell them they are, but in reality they're not. So they
yeah,
can't. They're not. They're having trouble comprehending that. And when people actions are showing them, they're reacting with emotions. Now they want to be far right, and now they want to be. You understand what I mean?
mm. So tell me something. Do you think? Because obviously their main focus is always Pakistanis, yeah, or others than the boat people. Do you
Mm.
think they're just the biggest cultural threat to them in the sense of because they seem like they're quite put well together with money, you know, businesses, and
I think
I'm
they're
guessing
gone.
they're one of the are they the biggest ethnic minority population?
Possibly they're more Indians, but I think they're easy target because of the grooming gang thing. It's
Yeah.
like they're the scapegoat now. They're the ones who was acting up, so they're the ones they can focus on. Do you understand what I mean? You know what I mean? So they can't focus. Indians are too productive, so they can't focus on Indians. You get me?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think that's the ones that because of the grooming gang thing, they've just jumped on it and they're holding on to it. Because it's grooming gangs even a thing anymore. But they like I'm not saying it was definitely a problem, but they're just using that and holding on to that. You know what I mean? Like there's low quality people in every race. Let's have it right. Do you know what I mean?
there's a bag of low quality people, all different races. You know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, growing up in London, you see it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
You know? But yeah, all right then, bro.
right, bro. Yeah, cool. All right, now catch up with you
Yeah,
later.
yeah, next time.